So one of the things that I find very interesting is that when people take leadership positions, and this is anything that sort of stands out in my view, right? Like anything that requires uh, you to do something that is out of the ordinary, not conforming to what everybody else is doing. That's a leadership position in my mind. Um, and anytime that somebody does something like that, and it could be like extremely minor, right? Like you're taking a leadership position in your family by doing something that's different, or taking a leadership position in a organization or a classroom or whatever, that you are standing out and you're the one person that's doing this one thing, right? That not everybody else is doing. um, People are going to complain. They are going to not give you encouragement. They're going to give you all sorts of negativity. And it's your job to stand up and say, hey, I'm going to do this thing because I choose to do this thing. And depending on, you know, the the environment that other people grew up in, and how they actually feel, they're going to give various degrees of negativity at you, and it's not going to be fun, right? But here's the thing: you have to, if it's good, like you have to assess in your mind, is this thing actually good? Is this going to give greater benefit in the long run? You assess in your mind whether that's the case, and if it's true, um, stick with it, keep going. And the issue is nobody is going to do it other than you. And it's a challenging, very challenging thing, right? And the sort of more attention that you get, people naturally give you more hate and negativity. And it's really an interesting phenomenon that I think it's just human nature to do this because you're standing out. And, even when you're on the playground, when you're in second grade, people, if you're standing out in some sort of way, people are going to make fun of you on the playground. And you have to simply just say, I'm good enough. I'm a good person. And this thing is actually doing good in this world. And I'm going to do this thing. And the reason why I can confidently say this is because we can do all sorts of things. And in a different environment, sometimes it seems weird, right? And you might be doing something that is completely normal in another environment, but in another environment, it might seem completely weird. But there's all sorts of things that are like that, that, um, that, that you're just standing up and you're doing your thing. It's not what somebody else is doing. And when you do that, um, it it makes other people question the choices, what they've done, how they perceive the world. And an obvious easy response is to go to negativity. I mean, I feel myself doing that a lot of times, and I have to control that. Probably you have to do the same thing. And it's a natural response that we go to. I believe it's a natural response that we go to sort of protect ourselves. um, we need to sort of know that if that happens to you, it's okay. Just keep going and do your thing. I think you need to remember that you can stand up and be a kind and generous person, be yourself, be, a nice person that is pursuing good. And that doesn't matter what avenue that actually is in or what location. You just need to know that you can get up and get going with it and not absorb all of that negativity. I think about, like, politicians, for example. I have no idea how they do it because no matter what they do, it's a losing battle. Somebody's going to be upset. And as long as you're on the side of right and justice and truth and all those sort of positive virtues, and you're doing something that you think is good for the long run, um, I think that's ultimately the only thing that you can go by, right? And you might think that um, people that are not nice, not decent people, are gonna sort of say the same thing. It's true, right? They probably will say the same thing. I'm doing the world a good by doing this particular thing. But, um, the only guardrails that we have is that we're actually trying to do that thing. It's a hard puzzle, right? As you individually knowing what is the right thing to do, that's not really what we know what is the right thing to do, but you decide what to do it, and then you simply have to keep going with it, knowing that it is going to add some positive effects in the long run. I think many people that um, don't know what is the right thing to do, they do those things and they pursue them, um, despite knowing that they're not the right things to do, or they're net negative. They're well aware of the sort of net negative component of it, and they pursue those things anyways. But I think for most people, that's all we have to go by is doing the thing that we think is good. And as long as we're sort of moving in the right direction, that we're trying to encourage peace, we're trying to encourage people to love each other and be positive. I think like that's all we can go by. That's honestly all we can go by. But when you're doing that, you're going to stand up, and it doesn't matter whether you say no, the world is a circle, right? It's an oval, um, a slight oval, or no, I'm going to stand up because I actually love other people. I want to make sure other people feel good. There are going to be people that you come across, and probably lots and lots of people that you come across that are going to be upset with that. They're not going to like those decisions. They're not going to like what you're doing. You got to stand up and just do it anyways because you know it's the right thing to do. I think the moral imperative, what Jim March calls, is the logic of appropriateness. I think it's very important in our lives because not everything is going to seem like it makes sense, but you do it because you're a good person for duty, for justice, for all of those virtues. And I know it's so squishy and it's not clear, in terms of what you should do. But I mean, you got to stand up and do those things despite what people are going to say and do about you and what you're doing. They're just not going to be happy. And you got to stand up and say, I'm going to do the right thing, and I'm going to keep doing this right thing. And here's the other thing: is they're going to judge every sort of aspect of what you actually do. And there are going to be a lot of great things that you do, many, many great things that you do, but there's going to be one thing that they're going to latch on to and sort of tear you down. So, but what I'm saying is don't pay attention to that. Do the right thing. Go and be yourself. Be who you are and try to make a positive difference. I know it's hard to do. I know it's really hard to do. But trust me, I'm struggling with it. You're probably struggling with it. You just got to get up and do that every day. And just have that courage. All right, take care and have a wonderful day.